Getting ready to roll in downtown Milwaukee as the Marquette Golden Eagles are back on their home floor after a week or so away. They play host to the Southern Jaguars from Fiserv Forum. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Milwaukee with Laval Jordan, Jeff Levering with you. Thanks for being with us. And listen, this Marquette team, they have been challenged early. Very tough schedule. They've got a tough schedule moving forward, starting this weekend with Wisconsin, but they cannot overlook Southern tonight.
That's right, Jeff. You're coming out of UCLA, Kansas, Purdue, high-level matchups. You got Wisconsin and Texas coming up, but you can't overlook tonight. And Coach Smart mentioned that all day at shoot-around. Let's stay present and take care of tonight.
It's a good opportunity for this Marquette team to be back in front of their home fans. If you take a look at our starting lineups, they are brought to you by Jeep. There is only one. Two very different styles here. One likes to create havoc, and one likes to prevent it.
This is a battle of wills tonight, Jeff. Look, Southern forces 17 turnovers, and they get 10 steals a night. And Marquette, one of the best in the country at taking care of the basketball, only 9 turnovers a game.
Take a look at Shaka Smart. He loves playing on his home floor. 31-4 over the last couple of seasons at Fiserv Forum. Of course, the defending Big East champions a year ago. Kevin Johnson, year number 1 at the helm of Southern University. Totally revamped his roster. Nobody returning from last year's team as we are set to go. Fans, the students are all out, and Marquette gets the basketball first. Haven't played for a little while, so we'll see how they come out of the gates.
And expect this Southern team to change defenses. What Coach Johnson is interested in, just switching it up, trying to make this Marquette team uncomfortable.
Good ball fake by Mitchell on the drive. Mitchell missed the basket and will have a foul as Stevie Mitchell trying to create. He will go to the line. And Laval, your keys to the game tonight.
For the Southern squad here, it's do what they do, create turnovers. Again, hard against Marquette. They have to value the basketball. And then Coach talked about competing on the glass. Look, they're at a size disadvantage, and Marquette is extremely active. They got to keep them off the glass. And what we talked about in the open, Jeff, for Marquette, it's a mindset coming in tonight. Right? Not to overlook this Southern team. They have an upset win on the road against UNLV, a tough opponent, and Coach is trying to put his stamp on this program. And tonight would be a huge one for them. So Marquette has to stay focused.
And for Southern, they have not played at home yet. So this is a road-tested team so far. Haven't even been home, basically, it feels like. Will not play a home game until December the 9th, but they get number 3 Marquette tonight.
And one of the Southern faces you don't see tonight is Tyrion Joseph, the leading scorer, out tonight. So how will this Southern team manufacture points to keep up with a high-powered Marquette offense?
3 to shoot. And off the mark on his first shot of the game, one of the seniors, Brandon Davis. Transfer from Texas State. Into the corner. Mitchell for 3. Lights it up.
It's good to see Stevie Mitchell. I talked with Coach Shaka Smart at shoot-around specifically about Stevie Mitchell. He gets overlooked as this Marquette on this Marquette roster. He brings so much to the table. He doesn't score a ton of points, but man, he's so valuable to their team.
And defensively, just usually locks up on the best offensive player on the other team, and now numbers going the other way. Iguodala lost the handle. Kolek gets it over to Jones for 3. 8-0 run to start the game. Noel hobbled a bit as he is on the far side of the bench. And an injury substitution for Southern.
You hate to see that. Brente Noel, one of the young players Coach has brought in and excited about his future, only a freshman. Got tied up with his own teammate there, trying to get back in transition. Hope he can get back in there.
Jalen Reynolds checks in for Noel as he gets attended to on the far side of the bench. And Mitchell lighting up in the backcourt, and we are going to have a 10-second violation. You mentioned Mitchell. He's got 5 points early, but that is where he makes his catch.
It's certainly, and it's what you want to see. He's a tone setter for Marquette. And you want to see that edge that Coach Smart talked about at walkthrough. Them coming out tonight on both ends of the court, setting the tone.
An 8-0 start, couldn't ask for anything better. Mitchell knocking down a 3. Cam Jones with the 3. Now Joplin. First miss of the game for Marquette.
And David Joplin's a guy that Marquette needs to step up and play a little bit better. Obviously, he's a scorer, he's a shooter, not shooting the ball his best. But tonight could be a big night for him to just get back on track.
Mitchell created the steal. And now Joplin, second opportunity. Southern going the other way. Davis running the floor, somehow got it by Mitchell. And Brandon Davis gets Southern on the board.
Davis is a shooter. You see him there taking it to the rack, but one of the best shooters on this Southern roster.
Mitchell, nice little shake and bake on the baseline, and he was out of bounds. And a turnover for Marquette.
And keep an eye on that number right there. What's one turnover? Again, Southern with the changing of defenses. They're staying in the zone right now. Marquette has to value the basketball. They'll get good opportunities if they can take care of the ball.
Southern with 3 turnovers in the early going. Mitchell has poked it away a couple of times.
This Southern team wants to spread you out and attack the paint. Move the ball. Coach talked about keeping the Marquette defense in rotations and moving the basketball, not letting it stick.
Good cutoff on the baseline. Got to go with the basketball and get a shot clock violation. So we've seen a 10-second backcourt violation, now a shot clock violation.
And this team lost. They have a new coach. Coach Johnson's coming in, new coach, new roster, losing P.J. Bird, who was one of the better point guards in the SWAC last year. Averaged 9 points, 5 assists a game. And you see kind of that presence of a missing point guard here tonight, Jeff, early in this ball game for Southern.
Jordan Johnson checks in for the Jags. Mitchell, the alley-oop to Iguodaro. Oh, my goodness.
And that's a heck of a read by Stevie Mitchell. And Iguodaro cuts the baseline against the zone. And again, the size and athleticism advantages to Marquette if you play up top in the air.
And there was a man in the paint for Southern right there, and Iguodaro just flew right over the top of his head as Jordan Johnson knocks down a 3.
And Marquette has to know the scouting report on Johnson, as you see Joplin there trying to bet back. But Jordan Johnson, 13 of his 14 shots coming into the game were 3s, so you cannot leave him open on the 3-point line.
He was 8 for 14 on the season now after making that 3. A 5-point lead for Marquette. And throws it into the third row. Takes us to a timeout. Oso Iguodaro flying high early.
And one of the best ways to attack the zone, Jeff, is behind it. And you see Oso cutting behind. Nice lob from Stevie Mitchell, and that is how you finish.
Number 3 Marquette doubling up Southern in the early going, 10-5. The Southern Jaguars out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Just over 8,000 is their enrollment, playing in the SWAC last year at 15 and 17. Outstanding marching band, by the way. The Human Jukebox is what their marching band is known as. Outstanding stuff. Listen, this is the tale of the tape. If you're a small school, right? If you've got a good player that plays the first couple of years, you almost have to think that they are not coming back following season.
Certainly, this transfer portal, NIL era. Coach Johnson, coming in, new coach. He's a Louisiana legend down there in the Bayou. Been coaching for 3 decades. And I asked him how he went about just putting a roster together. And he emphasized getting some kids from Louisiana to stay home. They've got 4 or 5 of them here on the roster.
Kolick, his first shot, and he buries it. Another 3 drops for Marquette.
And that's where he's grown, Jeff. Obviously, when the ball is in his hands, we know how phenomenal Tyler Kolick can be, but he can play off the ball, and he's shooting the basketball much better this season, coming in at 44% from 3.
8 out of 17 now from beyond the arc for Tyler Kolick. Averaging almost 14 points a game as Davis, nice little touch pass to the wing for the jumper, and give him the 3. Sean Allen.
And have fun tonight, ladies and gentlemen, watching this young man right here, Sean Jones. He is electric, maybe one of the fastest guards, if not the fastest in the country. Changes the game on both ends of the court.
Tell you, he picks his times to knock down his threes, too. He's only hit 2 all season long, but they came in the most critical of times. Good runner by Tejan Domasi. Southern's hanging in there, down by just 3.
One of the things when you play Marquette, you have to get back even after made baskets.
Jones dials up another 3, an air ball. Cam Jones with the left hand. He can finish in so many different ways around the basket.
As Coach Smart called him a scoring savant. He's a gifted scorer. Good to see him out there tonight. He banged up his knee. You see the knee brace earlier this week in practice, so good to see that he's back in the lineup.
You see the speed from Southern as Brandon Davis is fouled on the way. So Tyler Kolek here in transition, hitting the 3. That bucket gets him over 1,000 career points.
Tyler has to let him know sometimes that he can score the ball too. And I think that's one of the great things about Tyler. When you watch him play, he has a good feel for what the game needs. When he just needs to be a facilitator, right? Or if he has to go get 22 like he did when they were battling against Purdue.
Comes away with the steal. Kolek running the floor for the layup.
Just such good vision and IQ. He anticipates. He earned every bit of that Big East Player of the Year award last year, Jeff.
Ben Gold on the floor for the first time. Well, as Chase Ross, super sophomore from Marquette. Davis bleeding into the lane, and he knocks it down.
And this is one of the things Coach Smart can do with this lineup. You see Ben Gold and Oso playing together.
Nice recovery on the help defense by Domasi. And out of bounds. They had transition numbers, but instead out of bounds, and another turnover for Southern. They got some speed, this Southern offense, the speed from Davis.
As you see Davis here using the pick to get downhill. He can score the basketball. He's known more as a shooter. That's his 2nd basket tonight inside the paint. And I like the confidence from Southern early.
Down by 5, and they've turned it over 7 times. Kolek out of bounds off of Southern. 15 on the shot clock for Marquette.
Brandon Davis, the guy that was in that UNLV win, he was 3 for 4 from 3, Jeff. So he's not afraid. He's got great courage.
Kolek, open 3. Got another one.
That makes him so hard to guard. We know he's elite in the pick and roll as a passer with his vision. He has good size, but his ability to really make shots is a game changer. You cannot go under on those screens.
Used to be able to give him those 3s almost at will. Can't do that anymore.
I was messing with Tyler because we beat them when I was at Butler. We went under on his screens, and he came up to me and said, "Coach, they can't go under on me anymore."
He is an 80 grade trash talker too. At Rhode Island at its finest.
Such a competitor.
Just had that shot put back in his face by DeLang Moon. Yeah, he's every bit of Rhode Island on the basketball floor. You see the 3-point shooting for both teams. It's a 5-point game.
Look up at Marquette right now.
Uh-oh. Look up at Southern, too, down by just 2.
Again, that's the 2nd 3 for Jordan Johnson, a guy who comes in. He's only taken 1 shot that's not a 3-pointer, Jeff. You have to run him off the 3-point line.
Ross to the cup for a deuce. Well, Southern stops turning the ball over. I mean, they've only missed 1 shot all game.
You look on the court right now, you see the freshman Trey Norman, the top 100 recruit out there. Coach Smart made an emphasis to his team at walkthrough. If you don't play with an edge, you might not play tonight.
Well, 4-point lead right now for Marquette. Southern hanging tough with number 3 in the country.
Tyler Kolek doing what he does, but Southern battling tonight with the Golden Eagles. And Johnson, you cannot go under the shooter doing what he does, knocking down the 3-point.
But we got to guard the ball, and then we got to contest the 3. You know, we talked about making people miss from 3. This ain't it. This ain't it. And they've made a couple tough ones, but we got to contest with every fiber, guys. All right? And that's that. Like, our stance and our talk is not acceptable. The first round was good. The second round, it slipped.
And Jeff, Coach Smart talking about first round, second round. Those are those 4-minute wars that you keep track of. He calls them rounds. It's a 10-round fight. The first round, they jumped out 8-0. Second round, they're not contesting, like he said, with every fiber in your being to get to those shooters. Right now, 4 for 5 Southern is from the three-point line.
Missed just their first shot of the game. 7 for their last 7. And if they clean up the turnovers, look out. And it's been the subs that have come in and given Southern a nice little lift. Shot clock winding down. Davis short on the shot. And Southern comes away with a turnover. Jacks now over the last 2 as Mitchell pulls down the high rebound. One of the 2 main freshmen to get run for Shaka Smart train. Norman on the floor. Get it into Ben Gold with a nice move and the jam.
And this young man's really developed. Coach Smart saying to me earlier, if he was as confident in himself as I am in him, right, he's going to be a heck of a player.
Here's another 3 from Southern, in and out. And here comes Zave Lowry. Ben Gold put on a little weight in the offseason, about 25 pounds worth of muscle. You can tell, too.
He's got skill. For his size, he can really shoot the basketball and pass, has an IQ. You see the quick hands of this Southern team. Again, what they do is they take the ball from you and force you to turn it over.
Offensive rebound by Ben Gold, and he will go to the line. No surprise to see Stevie Mitchell down on the floor trying to get that loose ball, too.
And as you look on the court for Marquette right now, it's Stevie Mitchell and guys off the bench. Again, Coach Smart making substitutions at the timeout, emphasizing playing with urgency. And it's tough, Jeff, right? You're coming off 3 games like we talked about, very high level. The human nature is to look ahead. You got an in-state rival, Wisconsin, coming up. Right, but if you're going to be tough, and Coach talked about this at walkthrough, you have to be present. What they call here at Marquette, get lost in the fight, meaning stay present.
Gold 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Up to a 7-point lead, and Southern almost threw it away again.
See the 3-quarter court pressure here by Marquette. They've already forced 1 10-second violation.
Southern using the speed as Allen off the mark. Gold with another rebound.
I like the energy that Ben Gold's playing with tonight.
You mentioned these are kind of the stretches when you don't have Kolek on the floor, Iguodaro on the floor, even Cam Jones. How do you get points? Well, Stevie Mitchell has really asserted himself on the offensive end.
And when you look at a leader like Stevie Mitchell, Coach Smart telling us he's growing his voice, but he's a leader by example. Offensively, again, not necessarily a scorer, but he's just trying to give his team energy in the best way he can tonight.
Mitchell's been locked down on Johnson after he hit a couple of threes. And a shot clock violation. Second time that Southern has had a 30-second shot clock violation in this game. 8th turnover.
And you see Coach Johnson getting on his guards there. They've had a 10-second violation, shot clock violation, and stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Those are unforced errors. You can get a shot up.
And for Marquette coming out of that last media timeout, really flexing their muscles as Joplin will go to the line.
And right there, Jeff, you saw the set to bring David Joplin off the shuffle cut to the post. Coach Smart talking to David at walkthrough. Coach Smart talked about getting him more involved. They didn't get him enough shots in that Purdue game. He said he wanted him to try to get 10 touches inside the line. He got his hands on an offensive rebound earlier. There they bring him to the ball on the post up. One of their better scorers. They're just trying to find different ways to get him going.
For Joplin, the 6th man of the year in the Big East a season ago, as Gold heads of the bench. He brought a lot of energy and got this team back on the right track. But for Joplin, he replaces essentially Omax Prosper, who's now playing in the NBA with Dallas. A big shoes to fill, but for Joplin, he was doing that time in and time out as the sixth man on this team.
In different game than Omax. Omax, such a defender and athlete. Jop's a shooter and a scorer, but he has the size. And
here's Joplin firing from the wing. May have landed on a foot. A little ginger coming back. Great to see him drill that three.
You see the value of Oso Ighodaro there as a decision maker. Such a luxury to have a center, point center, that you can play through to make decisions. I like this young man guarding the ball, Zayd Lowry, just his length. He's a competitive. I went to their practice earlier. Such a competitor. He and David Joplin battled in a practice, and Coach Smart excited about his future.
Ighodaro contesting the shot, long rebound out to Lowry. Numbers not in his favor. He's going to the rack anyway, and he will go to the line. Takes us to a timeout. Marquette winning that segment. They're on an 11-0 run. Marquette turning over Southern a ton.
And that was not what we were talking about coming into the game, Jeff. Usually it's Southern that's turning other people over, but Marquette tonight mixing in some three-quarter court pressure, forcing turnovers and turning those into points. Doing a good job. They emphasize deflections. That's a huge part of Marquette basketball. Searching for 32+ deflections every time they compete.
See the points off of turnovers. 17 for Marquette. A big old goose egg so far for Southern. And just 2 Marquette turnovers as Lowry's at the line, makes the first.
And I like the move by Coach Smart. Sometimes you have to change your defenses or change your lineups to create energy. And Coach has done both tonight. Right? Change it to the three-quarter court, subbed in. I think Ben Gold brought great energy. Zayd Lowry, who's checking out now, brought energy, gave them a boost to go on a run. And you're trying to find that a lot of times, Jeff, as a coach, when you have maybe not the energy you want coming out of the gates. Do we change defenses? Do we change lineup? How do we get our energy going?
Got the starting 5 back on the floor now. Started the game on an 8-0 run against Southern. Now a 3 by Allen and an air ball. Tough to get that shot over the head of Oso Ighodaro.
Again, the value of Oso on both ends of the court. He can switch and defend, which allows Marquette to switch 5 ways. They even did that against Purdue with Zach Edey to get Oso off of him in the post to try to keep him out of foul trouble.
Mitchell. Teardrop inside the free throw line. It's kind of a shot that is missing in today's game, huh?
I love the use of the ball fake there. That's also something we don't see enough. Just a nice pass fake to move the defense.
Another 3 jacked up by Southern, and it falls again for Jordan Johnson.
And Coach Smart won't be happy with this going into halftime. You know, Jordan Johnson, whose reputation is a shooter and a shooter only.
There goes Jones with the right hand this time.
He's so gifted and creative in the ways that he can score the basketball. I remember when Cam was a freshman when I was coaching against him, and Coach Smart saying, you see him there on the defensive end of the court.
Great handles by Mitchell to Kolick. Fast break 101.
Certainly. But Shaka had told me about Cam. He had told him his freshman year, look, you can lead the Big East in scoring one day. I really believe that about you. And you see his growth and maturity in his game as he's heading in that direction, to be honest with you, Jeff.
I mean, this stretch right now for Marquette on a 19-3 run. Made 7 of the last 8. Here's the steal by Jones. And again, this is perfect fast break basketball.
3-on-2, right? You practice those situations, advantage situations all the time. But Marquette picking up their activity defensively. And I like that. Coach stimulating the starters by sitting them down and playing the bench, and those guys come back in with different energy. You're trying to get what you're, coach knows, and he told these guys when we're at our best, and they talk about that. You see their T-shirts, their shooting shirts say our best us. So coach's challenge to them is always, regardless of who we're playing, can we be our best us? And when we're at our best, we have an edge. And he kept saying over and over, I want to see that edge tonight.
Well, for Shaka Smart, he knows this group. And this group, it feels like they can make adjustments on their own, on the floor, in the huddles, because they've been together for so long. Just need a little nudge every now and again.
Yeah, and some player leadership, I think. Like Stevie Mitchell has done a tremendous job tonight of trying to set the tone.
Johnson again from 3. 12 points, 4 for 4 from three-point land.
And Coach Johnson from Southern, he talked about Jordan Johnson here at shoot-around, saying, man, he's got 3, he's a freshman. Right? He comes in with 4 years of eligibility. He's got a body on him. He's excited about what he can become, and he can really shoot the basketball.
Also Iguodaro with the left hand, no, and we'll have a foul on Iguodaro. With everything but finish, Moon did a pretty good job getting in his way.
And you look at Oso, and one of the biggest improvements he's made from last year to this year is he looks physically so much stronger and thicker. And you've watched him battle against some of the best bigs in the country, Hunter Dickinson, Zach Edey, and his physicality has improved a ton.
Creativity around the basket. I mean, playing with Cam Jones, all you have to do is watch him a little bit. Nice backdoor cut. Creating some offense here for Southern. Jerron Wilkins with the bucket.
And that's the second time Marquette's lost a cutter along the baseline. You have to move your head and keep your head on the swivel to keep vision of where your player is.
High off the window there.
And that floater you talked about, Cam Jones has it. It's not missing from his game.
Cam Jones, 9 points. He is yet to miss from the floor.
I want to see Marquette pick up the pressure here. You see the trap of the ball screen. Got David Joplin with the hip check there.
But Cam Jones again finding ways to score around the basket.
Such a good pace. See him probing the defense. And those cuts along the baseline. Kolek got caught there staring at the ball, lost his man. Good pass, good finish.
Joplin just picked up the foul. Heads to the bench. Chase Ross checks back in for Marquette. And another steal from Oso. Jones locked up. Sean Jones now over to Kolek, wide open 3 from the wing, buries it.
And good decision there by Sean Jones. He attacked the baseline hard. Everybody rotated. He just turned and used the pivot, kicked it out to Kolek for an easy step-in 3.
Kolek leading all scorers with 13. Johnson for 3. Man, he cannot miss tonight. 15 points for the freshman Jordan Johnson.
Coach Smart over there shaking his head, wanting someone to step up to the challenge of guarding Jordan Johnson. Playing with a lot of confidence.
Had Mitchell on him for a little stretch. Jones and 1. How did he get that ball out of his hand?
I don't know how he made that one. There's those guys, Jeff, that when they just hit 20, regardless of what they do, just playing. You see Cam Jones here flashing against the zone in the high post, gets tripped, flips it up, puts it in the basket somehow.
(46-29) Marquette. Good segment here. Cam Jones just finding more ways to score buckets.
He's so creative, and he can do it at all 3 levels, Jeff. You see him stepping in there, catch and shoot 3. going to the basket, spinning off drive line, nice touch off the window, and then catching in the mid-post, facing up. And I can't tell you how he got that one in the basket. Some guys just have it, and some guys don't. But his development has been so fun to watch just over the course of his career, going from kind of just a shooter to now a guy that can find other ways to get himself going when his three-point shot isn't falling.
So far tonight, he's only taken 1 3. He's yet to miss a shot. He's at the line, trying to convert on the three-point play. And misses that free throw. 6 out of 9 from the stripe so far for Marquette.
Now Marquette there with the trap of the ball screen. Got to rotate out of it and block out.
At the air ball, second opportunity. Still has yet to hit the rim. Out of bounds, and it will stay with Southern with 6 on the shot clock.
You want to stay solid here without fouling. 6 and under. Drives coaches crazy when you foul in low clock situations. You have to do everything right, and then you reset the clock and get a foul. So Marquette stay solid here.
Time winding down, another 3. Finally a miss. First time tonight for Jordan Johnson.
He had 2 guys run at him. I think they got the message in the media timeout.
No doubt about that. Sent a 7-footer out there too. Cam Jones. Going to be Marquette basketball. Looks like Moon got a piece of this shot from Jones.
Moon getting off the duck in there from Ben Gold to get a piece of that basketball. Couldn't tip it back in before he landed on the out of bounds line.
Jones will check out. Joplin back in for Marquette. Out to Gold. Open look for 3. Strong rebound by Wilkins.
And if he can make those consistently, Shock and I talked, and he said that his challenge and emphasis over the last couple days of practice was consistency from players and from his team. And Ben Gold was 0 for 3 against Purdue from 3. It's a shot he can make. He just has to shoot it with great confidence.
Kolek.
Like this kid.
I mean, he just oozes confidence.
He doesn't lack the confidence, does he? I mean, you're talking about a tough dude. Sprained his ankle in the game against Ryder. Everybody wondered if he would play or not. Came back in the Illinois game just as a competitor. I asked him if he's 100%. He said not even close, but he's not going to miss a chance to compete.
Never. He's played by Moon inside. Now, Kolek had 24 in that game against Illinois. He's been over 20 a couple of different times, including that 22 spot against the Boilermakers. Kolek, deep 3.
There's a heat check there by Tyler. He thinks he should make every one of them, too. I love that about him. You just love guys that ooze. It permeates to your teammates, Jeff. When you have that level of confidence and swagger in a good way. It's not an arrogant thing. He puts in the work. That's the thing that the coaching staff says about him. He lives in the gym.
Checks out. He has improved so much from when he first got here to Marquette to last year, and now even to this year. He's just taken step after step after step with this program. Got over 1,000 career points with his first bucket of the night tonight. Johnson, little scoop with the English to get it to go.
Jordan Johnson's showing he can score inside the three-point line.
Just his second shot from inside 3. Sean Jones turns on the Jets.
And when he turns on the Jets, Jeff, it is hard to keep him in front of you. Good job there off the pick and roll, just attacking the hedge and getting right down the lane.
The fun part about Sean Jones is that he's got a different gear this year, right? He can go from a 5 to a 4 if he needs to. Oh my goodness. Jordan Johnson just keeps pouring it on.
Coach Smart looking down the bench, See Zane Lowry going to the bench to table to check in. He's going to try to find somebody that can keep this kid in check. Jordan Johnson on fire right now.
He scored 20 of the 36. Southern up ahead, down by 15. Bleed this clock down as much as they want. About 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Over to Johnson, another three. This is his second miss of this first half.
Marquette hold for the last shot here.
Sean Jones driving. Jones, little Euro step. He's going to go to the line. Fouled hard on his way to the rack. Well, don't forget, Jeep halftime report. It's coming up shortly. First half stats and analysis. Guys standing by in the studio discuss the best Big East returners. A lot of them are on the floor right now for Marquette.
Oh, no. We got 2.8 on the clock. Marquette has fouls to give here, Jeff, but I don't know with this amount of time. You don't want to foul someone on the shot, so you just try to contain and contest as best you can, make them heave it up from half court. Try not to let them catch the ball on the run here in this situation.
This Marquette team has been awfully efficient in this first half. Most points they've scored in a first half this season. As Jones adds one more. Southern one last heave. And that's how we go to halftime. 52-36. A lot of good stuff in this ball game from Marquette.
And Coach will be talking about their defense at halftime. That's where they've improved greatly this year. He won't be happy with the shots that Jordan Johnson got. I'm sure that'll be addressed.
Well, 52 points are well on their way. Back on their home floor, Cam Jones, Tyler Kolek combined for 27 points. Got more coming up. Jeep halftime show is on the way. In this second half, Marquette leading Southern. It's a little chilly today in Milwaukee, so let's go back in the Wayback Machine to last week when Marquette was in Hawaii and taking down #1 Kansas at the time. Very impressive showing the Maui Invitational.
Yeah, and also Iguodala was tremendous in that one. 21 points, 9 rebounds against one of the best big men in the country. And Hunter Dickinson, Marquette, phenomenal. Their bench was great. In that one, Jeff, they had a full team effort to get it done against the #1 team.
And they vault to #3. The highest ranking that they have had since 1978. This is kind of what was going on. Kentucky basketball champs. The Washington Bullets won the NBA championship. The Cowboys, of course, were Super Bowl champs. And the Yankees won the World Series. We weren't even born in 1978. You or I.
I was thought of. Not born yet.
I was not. I was not. Not even a twinkle at that time. And a foul. Jordan Johnson is going to go to the line. First time on the floor, we're seeing Tyrion Joseph, team leader, 18.8 points a game. Did not play in that first half, and maybe a spark here in the second half for Southern.
And he's holding his hand there, but gifted score. I think he got jammed up trying to make that pass out of the trap. But gifted score, averaged 26 points a game at East Central Community College. Comes in as one of the top-ranked junior college players in the country. And is off to a good start, putting the ball in the basket for Coach Johnson.
And a Baton Rouge kid, and that's something that Coach Johnson put an emphasis on when he was trying to build this roster.
That's 16 points in that Illinois game when they were in Champaign, so he can score the basketball. And you see them extending now with a 1-3-1 here. Different look from Southern, trying to change it up.
And they force a turnover. Jaguars going the other way.
And that's something Marquette has to be aware of. The changing defenses, you got to recognize and still be aggressive.
Mismatch with Mitchell on Moon. Davis There's that man again, off the mark, Johnson. He's missed his last couple from three. Kolek driving. Nice touch pass out to Joplin. Also Iguodaro, such a linchpin to this offense.
What a play. High-level basketball IQ play there. Also couldn't grab the ball and just tapped it to his shooter, knowing Joplin was in the corner. Phenomenal play.
Into the corner, and we're going to get out of bounds. Another unforced error by Southern, another turnover. Little touch pass.
Take a look at this. Tyler Kolek and Oso in the pick and roll, but the touch pass to the shooter, David Joplin. Tremendous IQ there by Oso Iguodaro, seeing the defense collapse and tipping the ball to his shooter.
Joplin 2 for his last 2. That's the hot zone for him right there in the corner.
Put him in that left corner and dare the defense to help.
Joplin now in double figures. He's 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. On the drive, tough shot. The tap in good by Moon.
Again, DeLang Moon, another freshman for Coach Johnson. I like his size and length and athleticism that he brings to the table.
He's been getting a lot of run because of Brente Noel on the sidelines. Went out early in the ball game.
A good wedge there. You watch him get position, putting Oso under the basket to get position for that rebound. Well done by the freshman.
6'8", 200 pounds from Australia is Joseph. Trying to get a little late instruction from his coach. Iguodaro just 2 points at the line for the first time.
And this is the one place where Oso struggles, Jeff. Obviously, shooting the basketball isn't his strength. He has nifty, creative finishes around the basket. He's got floaters in the paint, in the pick and roll when he short rolls. But as he's gotten to the foul line, that's where his struggle lies. And a lot of it's mental. He shot 70% a couple years ago.
47% coming in and knocks down a couple.
Those two look good there.
Ratchet up the pressure here in the backcourt. Southern breaks it. Now they've got numbers. Transition 3. Joseph too long, and now Marquette.
This is where he's tough right here as a facilitator in the high post.
Joplin now straight away 3. Got to get back to that corner.
It's a nice find by Kolek. Didn't get it, but tremendous movement, tremendous look.
Dumasi gives it off. Joseph with the layup.
And there's that same baseline cut again there, Jeff. When they get penetration, part of their system is they read. If you stare at the ball, they cut behind you. And they've gotten that 2 or 3 times now against Marquette.
Inside, Iguodaro. Great vision again from Kolek.
And what Kolek does is he tricks you with his eyes. He looked to the corner. The help defenders ran out to the shooter, which opened up the lane for Oso to roll to the basket.
Heck, those two guys could do that in their sleep.
One of the best 2-man games, if not the best in the country.
Davis couldn't get it to go. Off of Marquette. It's going to stay with Southern. Takes us to a timeout. Kolek to Oso. It's like milk and cereal.
These two, nobody does it better in college basketball. Finding each other in the pick and roll.
For this Marquette team a year ago, Big East champions in the regular season, Big East champs in the tournament as well, plus 29 wins, most in school history. Shaka Smart's got this program churning on all cylinders.
Certainly, and if you're a Marquette fan, you have to be excited. Obviously, all of these guys are back, besides one, Omax Prosper. But such a tremendous year and memorable year for the Golden Eagles.
And speaking of Omax Prosper, was not around because he was up in the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks, was presented his Big East championship ring. Got Shamgod, one of the greatest. A little shake and bake, but Omax getting the jewelry, and this is the shoes that David Joplin has to fill. 68 games at Marquette. Averaged nearly 10 points a ball game, did a little bit of everything as a Golden Eagle.
Certainly, and continue to get better. And that's becoming a staple of this program under Coach Shaka Smart is the player development. Omax transferring in from Clemson wasn't necessarily a scorer. His game grew over the couple of years that he was here. Look at Oso Ighodaro and how he's developed as a player. Tyler Kolick. So this Marquette coaching staff does a tremendous job of taking players and growing their game.
It's been a staple for Shaka Smart wherever he has been. Cam Jones is going to go to the line. Get Jalen Reynolds with the foul. Cam Jones, I mean, this is a guy front and center that you're talking about developing from year one on campus to where he is now.
Yeah, and this is an area where Cam can continue to grow his game, is getting himself to the foul line. Sometimes when you have such creativity, we had that with a guy named Kamar Baldwin, coached the young man Trey Burke at Michigan. Those guys have such creative ways to find opportunities to get shots up that they don't get fouled because they can always find a way to finish. For Cam, a scorer like him, you know, who's a really good free throw shooter, him growing his opportunities to get to the line and take advantage of that 80% free throw stroke.
And 2 for 2 on that trip to the line for Cam Jones. Did a better job of getting to the line last season. Kolick with a steal. And the lob a little short. Oso Ighodaro got up there. Jones a little short on the feed. Mossy on the drive. Ighodaro with a strong rebound. Up ahead, Kolick running the fast break. Jones puts on the brakes. Cam spinning around. He'll go to the line again.
And that's a special possession that we just watched there, Jeff. You can tell these guys have just played together before. They could close their eyes and just know where each other is on the basketball court.
It just felt like, even though it looked like it was out of control a little bit, nothing is out of control with this group.
No, it was Cam Jones down the line, knowing Oso was on the trail, flipping it back. Oso knows he's not going to shoot, so he's waiting for Cam Jones to come back off the handoff. They're just connected, and that's grown. It's a part of their culture on and off the court for this group to be connected. And Coach Smart really emphasizes the chemistry and the togetherness of the group. They've done it with bringing guys in as freshmen and developing them. He's not a huge fan of the transfer portal. They want to build relationships and retention and develop the guys they have in the program.
I mean, even the roster that they've got right now, it is built with guys that have been in the program. A couple of transfers before all the Wild West of the portal was created within the last couple of seasons. Jones going to pick up the foul here. And you look at the way that this team is broken down class by class. Still a ton of underclassmen. 10 total with the 6 juniors and just 2 seniors in Kolick and Ighodaro.
Certainly, and it's intentional by Coach Smart to do it that way. Is what he wants to do is love these guys and get them to trust each other and trust his staff. Keep them here and get them better. And then when you have examples like Omax, who goes on to the NBA. A lot of these guys have that dream. When you win a Big East championship in the regular season and a Big East tournament title, doing it that way just validates what you're doing for the next prospects and next recruits.
They've got a good class coming in. This year's class, a good one too, is Chase Ross tied up Moon. That's 3 fouls in the last 15 seconds for Marquette.
And usually when you get fouls called on you, Jeff, you are out of position or out of a stance. And in this one, Chaz Ross is out of position, just a step late to rotate and get himself over there to his help line. Had to reach his arms in the cookie jar and get the foul call.
So Moon hits the first, and a couple of those talented freshmen check in. Trey Norman and Zayd Lowry replacing Ross and Jones.
And it's hard to, when you're a young player, to wait your turn. Zayd Lowry, Trey Norman getting some minutes here, but They got to take advantage of these opportunities to come in and play with confidence and execute the system.
Kolek driving at it, knocked away by Dumasi. It's going to stay with Marquette. I mean, if you're a freshman, you're coming into this program, and you see guys like Kolek, Iguodaro, Cam Jones, even Stevie Mitchell. I think patience has to be known coming in.
Certainly, and you also get to learn from those guys. So the benefit of a guy like Trey Norman, he gets to hang out with Stevie Mitchell and learn the defensive system and pick his brain about becoming a great Big East defender. A guy like Zay Lowry gets to talk to David Joplin and ask him questions. You know, what made Omax good? So those guys, you have to take advantage of the opportunity when they do get minutes, but also watch and learn and see how it's done here. Sean Jones missed Ben Gold there on the slip.
Norman fires from 3, and a follow no good. Bodies on the ground.
You see the athleticism there from Lowry on that offensive rebound.
Lowry's 6'5", 200 pounds, originally from Springfield, Missouri. Look at him fly in.
And I'm telling you, this young man is going to be one of the names for Marquette fans in the future. I got a chance to come watch the Golden Eagles practice and was really impressed just with his maturity level for a young guy, his competitive level. It's hard to get young guys to play hard each and every possession. And he was a guy that competed on every possession in that practice. And the coaching staff really excited about what he can become here at Marquette.
Well, these Marquette practices, they're not just shoot-arounds and walkthroughs. These guys are really grinding during practice. So when you've got your starting 5 against, you know, the next wave of players, those guys are going against the number 3 team essentially in the country. You're going to learn quick.
No question. And they just get to improve each and every day, practicing against Stevie Mitchell and Tyler Kolek. And also, you're only going to get better.
Open up a pretty big lead on Southern now. Another turnover by the Jaguars. Turnover number 16.
And Marquette relentless. And it's one of the things that stood out when they were in Maui, Jeff, just the relentless amount of pressure for 3 straight days against UCLA and Kansas and Purdue. You see them here tonight with the 3-quarter court press, and they just keep coming after you.
Lowry fires up a 3 and a strong rebound by Joseph. Just over 6 minutes gone by. Lowry just took it right out of the hands of Joseph. Lowry trying to finish. Can't. Gold does, though. Good as gold.
Love the effort there by the big fella. To chase down his teammate, not assume a make.
Davis, wild shot. Jones bleeding into the paint. Jones kicks it back to Mitchell for 2.
I don't know if he lost the ball or if that was a pass there, but it worked out in Marquette's favor.
Get credit for the assist. It's a 20-6 run in the second half for Marquette. Into the corner, 3 by Joseph. Johnson comes down with a rebound.
It's just, even with the way they fly around, even when you're open, it's like you're rushing the shot.
There's another one from Joseph. Gold now for 3.
It looks good coming off his hands, doesn't it? It's just a little more confidence and a little more arc.
Davis, nice feed on the baseline for the 3 by Joseph. It has been tough sledding for Joseph in the second half. And a tie-up. It'll be Marquette basketball. Subs coming in for Southern.
And for Southern, we haven't called Jordan Johnson's name in a while. And obviously when a guy like Tyrion Joseph subs back into the game, he's their leading scorer, but can't forget who had the hot hand in the first half. They need to be looking to find Jordan Johnson to try to generate some offense.
And Jordan Johnson with just 1 point in the second half. Free throw. Southern got off to that hot start to begin the game. Just 2 for 12 in the second half. I'd say the clamps have been put on by this Marquette defense. Get a foul as Mitchell was trying to get that basketball back. 4 seconds on the shot clock. When we come back, how about Ben Gold and his hustle?
And you like the effort there by the big fella, not assuming to make, chasing it down and earning himself 2 points on the offensive rebound, and good pace there by Sean Jones. And we'll call that a drop off to Stevie Mitchell for an easy deuce.
Bounce, we'll bounce. But we're not going to make passive mistakes. We're going to make aggressive mistakes. We go double fist, you get, hey, run through that.
And that's what you love about Coach Smart. His best teams always had that aggression that he was talking about in the huddle. And that's what he brings to the table. He's an energy guy. They chart in practice, Jeff, energy-giving behaviors, EGBs, they call them. And if you come to a Marquette practice, if you've been around Shaka Smart, the energy permeates from him to the staff down to the players.
Kind of looks like he's got some VCU colors on tonight, no?
No,
alternate
he's
logo.
all blue and gold for the Marquette.
Oh, alternate logo tonight.
One of the things I loved in that Kansas game that Coach said is there was a little bit of a skirmish there in the first half, and he said, look, we don't back down from anybody. And it's just his mindset and the way he wants his team to carry themselves. Relentless, aggressive, and no back down.
How about a little John between Shaka Smart and the Kansas team, too? That goes back a few years.
Yeah, he and Kevin McCullough had a little competitive conversation.
It's a good way to say it. It's lovely. And Marquette ended up on the winning end, beating #1 Kansas at the time. Nice play by Joseph. See little flashes here from Joseph.
Marquette, the players accepting the challenge from Coach. Southern only shooting 16% in this half until that last bucket.
Their bodies are spinning all over the place on this possession. Lowry fouled. Gonna get 1 and 1, and free throws coming for the rest of the way from Marquette.
Zay Lowry on the attack here. Got tripped up. I just like the way he carries himself. Got good frame up top, good athleticism. Shooting is a work in progress, but got the makeup of a good-looking player in this league.
Basketball powerhouse La Lumiere in Indiana. Been originally from Springfield, Missouri. And that is a travel by Jacks. Another turnover. 18 turnovers from Southern. They average 13.5 a game. Game average will go up after this. How about Marquette? One of the goals for Southern was try and turn them over. Just 4 tonight. Let's see what they've done on the defensive end all season.
And they've been one of the best in the country. Again, averaging only 9 turnovers coming into the night. One of the best in the country. Obviously, when Tyler Kolek has the ball a lot, he's going to take care of it. And you can trust him to make great decisions.
Gold for 3, short. Second opportunity tapped out. Now 3 in the corner, short. Out of bounds, it'll go to Southern.
Just a little flat when Gold releases that ball. Rotation is good. Just to get a bit more lift on that shot.
Al Amadou on the floor for the first time for Marquette. Another big piece of this freshman class.
There's a deflection.
Lighten up. And I think we're going to get a 10-second violation. Yep, exactly. Second time that the 10-second violation has been called against Southern. And listen, up 31 points, Marquette is not calling off the Dogs.
They just don't stop. And what happens when you put your freshmen in is they're itching for an opportunity. So the energy actually increases because those guys are trying to prove to coach, hey, I want a few more minutes. So if I come in to play with that energy you're talking about, coach.
Oh my goodness, Amadou, the Philly product. Big smile on his face.
I see you, big fella. Amadou making his case. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
And we've got an injury situation here with Southern. How about this from Amadou?
A nice read by Trey Norman there. Behind the defense, his eyes are up. Delivers it right on time, and Al Amadou knows what to do with the finish. Just well executed offensively.
Just his second career bucket. Deep three. Mitchell couldn't keep it in bounds. Going to stay with Southern.
This Marquette defense, they look for kills, Jeff, what they call kills. 3 stops in a row equals a kill. They can get 6 straight. They call it a skunk. We were at walkthrough this morning guarding the scout team, and Coach Smart saying we're in the skunk zone.
Skunk zone. That's not because it's something bad smelling.
6 straight stops against the scout team, and they'll keep it on the scout just like they're keeping it on Southern, and that's just a mindset that coach wants to build with this program.
Again, they always track the deflections, trying to get to 32 deflections per game. They're going to get there, no doubt. Another lob to Amadou.
How about the pass from your center, Ben Cole, catching it on the short roll, pivoting, taking his time, and delivering a nice lob up top.
Yeah, Amadou has brought a ton of energy into this. Already up huge, but Amadou getting an opportunity, got blown by Dumasi. Amadou climbing the ladder again for another dunk.
Watch Ben Gold here in the short roll, a big that can make that decision and make that delivery impressive. As impressive as the finish by Al Amadou. Ben Gold taking a page out of Oso Iguodala's book on that one.
Oh, young career high for Amadou. He came in with 2 points on the season. He's doubled it in about 2 minutes. Trying to get to the cup and a block. Southern basketball.
We haven't mentioned Chase Ross as much tonight, Jeff, and Coach Smart told me earlier today that he's the most improved player on this Marquette roster. Obviously got a lot of meaningful minutes as a freshman last year, but haven't talked much about him tonight, which tells you how loaded this Marquette squad is.
Had a career high 12 points against Kansas, did Chase Ross. He was instant energy coming off the bench a year ago, especially on the defensive end. Lots of steals, blocking shots, some lob dunks. They love Chase Ross. A sophomore out of Dallas. Just goes to show the depth of this program, as deep as they have been in a number of years.
Coach Smart going to a zone look here. Trying to contain, and
another block. That was Amadou. 2 blocks for Amadou. Ross thought about that 3, instead gives it up. He's fouled, and it will take us to a timeout. Well, Duncan blocking, doing a little bit of everything. Al Amadou in that segment.
This is how you get yourself a little more playing time. Activity, a block party from Al Amadou, not one, but give me 2 of those.